this episode, we talk about suicide, suicidal thoughts, and mental health struggles. If you are ever struggling with any of these things, we urge you to reach out to a professional or somebody that you trust. We will link support down below, and we are always here for you.
I was in the Uber earlier and I said to Zoe, I was like, the sky is blue, the grass is green. We've just booked a holiday now, and we've booked it on the week I'm in my follicular phase. The hormonal contraception I've been on all my life was masking the symptoms of PMDD.
Welcome to the Hormonal Hotline podcast with me, Ellisha Blake. The podcast where we talk about all the things that would usually stay in a group chat, but there are no boundaries here. We're having raw, honest and open conversations, and I want to thank you so much for being here. Let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to the Hormonal Hotline with me, Ellisha Blake. I am here today with Jessie Hallett, who is a content creator and a PMDD advocate.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know why I said advocate. Hello.
You okay?
I'm good. How are you, girl?
I'm very well. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming all the way up from Cardiff.
From Wales, across the bridge, only for you.
This podcast is becoming a big deal.
International.
People are travelling countries to get here. So what's the goss? What's the tea? What's going on?
Oh God, a lot really. I'm sure we're gonna get onto this later, but I'm 8 weeks post-op today. I've just had quite a huge surgery, and I'm sort of
insane.
Thanks, girl. I'm just like, I'm feeling myself at the minute. It's been rough. Like recovery's been hard, but I think I definitely turned a corner this last week, and it's like I'm feeling myself, and I'm cycle day 2. Oh. So I'm sexy. Yeah. And if we had recorded this podcast 2 days ago, I think you'd get a very different version of me.
You'd
I'm
sobbing.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or in jail.
Yeah.
Either one. Yeah.
Arrest me, please.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Anything else going on in your life?
Oh my God, loads. Work, man. One man.
Well,
work, man, friends.
Unlucky, one man.
Yeah, I know, one man. And it's just, I think just like post-op recovery's taking a lot more time at the minute. So
tell me your story. Let's start at the beginning.
Oh my God, where do we begin?
So you are known online for having PMDD.
Yeah.
I actually, that's how I sort of saw you. But obviously you've got many, what did you say earlier about
I'm like a cat with 9 lives. I said I've got loads of different eras and I feel like Taylor Swift.
It's so true.
Yeah, how long have we got?
Well, according to the timer, we've got 43 minutes and 31 seconds.
So I've like I said, I do feel like a cat with 9 lives. I guess I started documenting my journey on social media about 3 years ago. When I made a big decision to go sober. So about 3 years ago, I was just in a really, really bad place. I lost my job. I was drinking to excess. I would say I was addicted to alcohol and substances. And I was also about 5.5 stone bigger than I am now. And I'm 4'10" for reference. I'm very small.
The height difference between us
she's a tiny
crazy. Queen.
Yeah. And I have always had a really, really unhealthy relationship with alcohol. I'd say, since I was 15 sort of thing. Always took it too far, but I could just never stop. And I used to drink to get away the hangovers. Then all of a sudden, it's 10 years and you've not had a day without drink. So I hit my rock bottom, my version of rock bottom, definitely in 2022, when I said, I need to try something. I need to try get out of this mess that I'm in. So I decided to give up alcohol and everything, and I smoked and everything, and I literally just said, I'm done. And it was on the 17th of November 2022, and I haven't had any. I feel like I'm in AA. Everyone clap. I haven't had anything since.
That's amazing.
But that led me then to try other things other than drinking, because your circle of friends change, your hobbies change, because that's all I used to do. I used to work, then I used to drink, and that's it. So I really had to like fill my time, and then I started doing things like cold water therapy. I used to go swimming in the sea. A really nice community there is in Cardiff called the Dawn Stalkers. I started doing cold water therapy, which really helped. And then I started exercising. I started doing the 5 a.m. club. I started getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't do that anymore, but that really served a purpose for me, because it was something that would stop me from drinking, because I'm like, if I'm getting up at 5 a.m, you don't want to be having a drink the night before.
You can't be hungover.
Yeah, and then I used to literally get up at 5. I'd be out the door by 5:15. I'd be at the gym for 5:30, and then I started losing weight. And then I fell in love with weight training. To this day now, like I said, I've lost about 5.5 stone in that time, purely through weightlifting and changing my diet. And then I was documenting that whole journey basically. And then last year it was end of 2024, I started experiencing these symptoms, these PMDD like symptoms. I've never heard of PMDD before, but I started just getting really agitated, really ragey, really crying. And at this time, it's worth mentioning, I have always been on hormonal contraception since I was about 16.
Yeah,
I never had a period.
Wow.
I probably, since I was 16 to last year, so how old am I now? 30. So that's 13 years. Maybe had 5 periods. So I loved it, actually, being on the coil, because I never had any periods. I never had any cyclical symptoms, and I was just living like a man, basically. I was like, this is great. And then I started having these really, really strange symptoms. And after doing some of my own research and speaking to my friends who are into wellness and things like that, Zoe, who we mentioned earlier, came up. So I reached out to Zoe, and we started working together straight away, basically. And that in itself, like the last year that I've been working with Zoe, has totally transformed my health in a whole other way. So I feel like pre-Zoe, I was like sober, weight training, and sort of diet. And then I've really like honed in on like the hormones and the gut aspect over the last year. And that is where my health is like totally transformed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. But I was experiencing PMDD. I have only been experiencing it since the end of 2024, because it turned out my coil was running out. Mm-hmm. So
you were tapering off, like.
Yeah. So potentially, the hormonal contraception I've been on all my life was masking the symptoms of PMDD. Maybe I would have had it a lot sooner.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And then when I got the coil removed in April of last year, so nearly bang on a year, and I've experienced PMDD pretty much ever since.
Wow.
Yeah, which is wild. Yeah, because a part of me as well is like, well, should I just go back on the coil, and then not have all these issues? But then you've got all the issues that come on, being on the coil and things like that. But I will say, it's I worked out yesterday, in the last 12 months, I've actually only experienced PMDD 4 times in 4 different cycles.
Okay.
Because of the amount of work that I do to prevent a PMDD flare.
Wow. And what were you, when you, obviously your symptoms began, did you know what it was?
No,
or you just...
I've obviously heard of PMS, but I'd never heard of PMDD before. I didn't even know the phases of a cycle.
Everyone says this until they get diagnosed.
It's so weird. I didn't know what ovulation was, because I didn't have periods. I just wasn't interested. Like, it just wasn't a part of my life. It really
ignorance
wasn't.
Is bliss.
It literally, ignorance is bliss. Yeah, for sure. I didn't know what luteal. I look back now and think that is so funny, because my whole life revolves around my cycle now. Yeah. It's wild.
Literally.
But I was experiencing I was a totally different person. When I'm in a PMDD flare, I see the world through a really, really negative lens. And you can probably see already, I'm very high energy. I'm a very happy person. I'm normally the person people call when they're sad to sort of cheer them up. I'm quite funny. And I am the total opposite in a PMDD flare. I'm a total introvert. I'm miserable. I'm ragey. I'm irritable. I'm really not nice to be around. And I was just so confused. I was like, what the hell is going on? Why am I experiencing this? And I think I may have had like 3-ish months of that before I got help from Zoe. That's how bad it was. It only took me 3 months to go, okay, just something definitely isn't right here.
Yeah, that's crazy, because some people suffer.
Some people do years. Yeah, like, so I was like, no way.
Yeah, I think I was 26 when I first started sort of looking into like, what is this thing? And you live in denial for a long time sometimes. But thank God you got help straight away, because I think that's what's really hard, is people suffer for so long in silence, don't speak out, don't do the research, and then they have years of their lives taken away. Yeah. And then they finally get diagnosed and they're like, why didn't I do that earlier? And
I know social media's got a bad rep at times, but I think if it wasn't for social media and me sort of being in that wellness space anyway for my own journey before PMDD, that's what gave me the confidence to reach out to Zoe and go, right, this actually isn't normal. And I'm very lucky to have the means to do that as well. I'm self-employed, you know, I run a business, and I did have the luxury of being able to look outside of the NHS. for that help, and thank God I did, because my life's class.
And
now
I love life, I'm thriving, and I'm 30.
Yeah, sorry, I am cycle day 2, so I'm very happy today.
Honestly,
I was in the Uber earlier, and I said to Zoe, I was like, the sky is blue, the grass is green, everyone's sexy.
I did this morning. I was literally like, oh
it's a different level, isn't it? But like 2 days ago, I was going to jail. Like, my God.
And this is what's so hard, especially when you're in a relationship, like the flip of like, you have a partner, don't you?
Yeah.
So how has your PMDD been with that? And like just the switch of going...
It's difficult because my PMDD, like when the coil was running out, was around the same time I met my partner. So he has been with this whole journey with me.
Wow.
And he is a dad of girls also. So in that way, I am really grateful that he is really open and eager to learn. Because I just think education is everything, and it's hard on the partners. It is really hard on the partners, but I think because he can see and he knows how much I try and do to prevent this, you know, he is like so supportive, and it's such a huge thing to have a supportive partner, and it's not nice on them, because sometimes, you know, you don't know what version you're going to get of me. And in my luteal phase now, like, he's connected to my app that I use to track my cycle. So he can see the symptoms that I log, and he's always checking in, like always being like, how's your PMDD? And I think like saying, how's your PMDD? Not just how are you feeling today? Almost
like,
gives
how can I support you?
Yeah. And it is like, I'm very lucky in that he's very supportive.
Oh, I love that. What a gem. And I do always say to people with PMDD, like, if you're not getting that support, they're not the right person for you. It really does shine a light on a certain area of your relationship. And can this person really hold space for you when you're at your absolute darkest, like in the worst moments? Because PMDD, it's no joke, like in a relationship. It's tough.
And it's hard, and it definitely is hard on the partners, and you know, the mood swings, and then when you add kids into the equation, you know, not that I'd ever snap or anything like that, but it's just something like, we've just booked a holiday now, and we've booked it on the week I'm in my follicular phase.
Great.
That's how much we cater our life around my cycle.
I always think about getting married, like being in my luteal phase on my wedding day. Like, also, like, I visibly don't look hot in my luteal phase.
I know, I'm ugly.
I'm ugly.
Like, I was ugly 2 days ago. I'm stunning today.
I am gorgeous. You're a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. I was in the gym yesterday, and I was like walking around getting changed, and I like turned to my best friend and I was like, God, I feel so good.
I know.
Like, I feel like
it's wild, isn't it?
I'm ovulating. That's why. Yeah. But it's like your brain, and obviously PMDD is a hormonal mood disorder. It's the way your brain reacts to the fluctuations. It's got so much to do with the brain, which people don't talk about enough, because people are like, it's hormones, but it's actually like the connection with the brain and how that reacts to it all.
There's so much like science obviously behind it, and like I said, I've only experienced this condition for just over a year, so I'm really not an expert when it comes to stuff like that. All I can speak about is my lived experience and how I handle it and things like that. But I like listening to someone like Zoe talk, who knows the ins and outs of it. I could just listen for ages, because it's like you got histamine, you've got, you know, nervous system
GABA.
regulation. What the fuck's GABA? 5-HTP what? Like, supplements, food, like the way you exercise, the way you sleep. Like, there's so many different things that affect it. It's wild.
I know. Sometimes I feel very underqualified when I talk. Like, people come to me online, and I'm like, I'm not a doctor. It's just my lived experience.
I get a lot of messages online, obviously, because of my following, but I find it really difficult to navigate those conversations sometimes, because I'll never give advice. I'll never tell anyone to do anything, because that's not like,
also, that's not one size fits all.
Exactly.
That's what's hard.
It's so different for everyone.
In fact, at the beginning of my journey, when I used to post, I used to be a bit more like, not you should, but like, and I've always been very like, given a disclaimer, but you've got to be really careful what you say, because these people are very vulnerable when they're desperate. And like, I always say, you know, talk to the doctor, go to people you trust. Like, this is my experience. It might not be yours. Like, I really want to touch back on your sobriety journey, because I think we sort of skimmed over that a little bit. And that's really, really tough, but also the place you must have been in just before then to then have to go sober.
It
like,
was rough.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, my sobriety journey is like the greatest joy of my life. Like, it's the thing I'm the most proud of ever. And like, every day, I know it sounds really cheesy, but every day I wake up and I'm sober, I'm like, oh my God, you know, this is amazing. 'Cause
it's such an achievement.
And especially I was 27 when I went sober, which is like a lot of people's like prime age for drinking, almost like your mid to late 20s. And yeah, I mean, I didn't have a choice. Like I had to. I was so reliant on it, and it was just a cycle. It was just an absolutely vicious cycle. And I've always known I was like destined for this like big, amazing, beautiful life. I didn't know what I was going to do. Like I've always been in jobs that haven't really served me or whatever. I'm just doing something to get enough money to get bottles of wine at the end of the shift. But I think I was in that moment. I'd woken up from like literally the world's worst hangover, which I was used to. And I remember I was so vivid, this memory, and looking out my bedroom window, and I was like, I do not want to be here anymore. I do not want to feel like this anymore. And I had some serious thoughts about not wanting to be here. I never did anything or anything like that, but I knew that that's not what I wanted to do. And I was like, and this was in November, I gave up, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to give it till Christmas. And if I go sober till Christmas, and if I still don't want to be here, I'm not going to be here anymore. But I was like, I'm going to give myself like 6 weeks, basically.
Wow.
And even in those 6 weeks, like the first 2 weeks, you know, giving up drinking and not having the beer fear and the anxiety every day, I didn't know who I was with that glass of wine in my hand. Like, it was wild. I remember having a bit of a disagreement with my sister, and when I was sober, and I was thinking like, I don't know how I'm going to react because I'm always pissed. Do you get what I mean? I'm never in a sober state. I'm either drinking or I'm hungover or I'm on something, you know. So
normalised as well. Having looked at a lot of people who have been through like this similar journey, it really, you wake up one day and you realise it's a problem. Like for so long, people just live, it's very normalised to be like, yeah, I drink 5 days a week and I wake up hungover every day. And
I was known for it, for sure.
Yeah, and how did that affect your like relationships and stuff? Because you become less fun, in inverted commas, when you stop drinking.
Yeah, I lost a lot of friends when I stopped drinking.
Which I think is so sad.
Yeah, but then I realised, like, were we friends or were we just people who liked getting drunk together?
Reliant on each other.
Because I actually would have nothing to talk about if I was sober with these people, a lot of them. You know,
That's so interesting.
And then I think back on nights out, I'm like, do we actually talk about anything or do we just drink Jaeger bombs? Like, seriously, you know? And then you look at the quality of the relationships that you're inviting into your life, and going sober really amplifies that, or it amplifies the people around you. And are they like enablers and I've got a lot of friends who've stuck by me the whole way. I've got a lot of friends that have been with me through the whole journey and now are on the other side with me, which is beautiful and amazing. But I had to get comfortable with letting people disappear, and thank God some of them did, you know. Yeah. And I'm sure they feel the same about me. Yeah.
Like, oh, she's gone.
Yeah, and also it holds a mirror up to some people.
Yeah.
So I feel like my sobriety for a lot of the people that I was in that circle with probably made them feel really uncomfortable, because it might have, they might be like, oh God, if she's got a problem, have I got a problem? And then, you know, it really does hold a mirror up to people. There's also a lot of
pain underneath that, because like, do you know why you turned to alcohol or had like obviously some of us, addiction is often hereditary, so there's that, but often like people have had things happen in their lives which is why they go down that path. I think it was like a really real lack of self-worth, and just I was in a lot of toxic relationships, and you know, I wouldn't put it down to one thing, to be honest. I think it was an accumulation of things. And also I was always like life and soul of the party, and like I was the person people would call if they wanted someone to go out with. And I feel like, I think I just love the attention, if I'm honest with you. I love attention now, but obviously I'm getting it in a very different way than I was getting then. But yeah, I just think it was a real lack of self-worth. Like I said, I didn't know who I was without a drink in my hand. I didn't have any purpose. I feel like my purpose at the time was probably to entertain other people. And by doing that, I drink 2 bottles of wine and start dancing on a table, you know? Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I had some of the best nights of my life when I was in that era of my life. I don't think alcohol was the problem. I think it's the person is the problem, and obviously, you know, people who can have a drink and stop it too I'm jealous. Like, I wish that was me, but I can't. And I'm never going to be that person. It's not even worth the risk to me to, you know, people say now, will you have one? Absolutely not.
No.
Even now, I'm like, if I have one, I'm having 12.
Well, do you know, even sometimes especially in this like feral single era that I'm in now, where I'm saying yes to everything. I'm going out all the time. And like, I never did that when I was younger because I've been in relationships since I was like 13, but I was in a 10-year, 19 to 29. Wow. And it's just like, I even some days wake up on a Sunday morning and I'm like, why did I have an extra 4 drinks after I'd had those 2 Negronis?
Yeah.
Like, why did I need to do that? You go into this like, yes. Also, like, if you're neurodiverse, I don't know if you are. Like, I'm not.
There's been rumours.
I know, me too. Rumours are flying that we might be neurodiverse, and there's that link with PMDD. Yeah. But like, I think it's a dopamine thing of like, I need more, give me more.
Yeah,
like,
I actually had an ADHD consultation on Monday just gone, so and then I've got a follow-up, so I've not formally been diagnosed with anything yet, but I am waiting to because I think there's a huge link between PMDD, ADHD, addiction. The writing's on the wall. Weight gain, like food, alcohol, spending,
I have the most addictive personality.
Same.
Like, I can never go near a drug because I think I would go down the wrong path, and like there's history of that in my family. No, I won't. But like, I feel like I have other like my phone is like my worst addiction. It's awful. Like, but I feel like we all find our different things, and it's just
everyone's got a vice, haven't they?
Honestly.
But I think I left one addiction for the other. I left sobriety and I started training 6-7 days a week. And, obviously better habit to have.
But it can go too far.
And especially like outside influence as well. People are like, you've taken it too far now. And it's all that sort of narrative. And I'm just like, if it stops me drinking and taking drugs, I'm going to go to the gym.
I might have this conversation with my therapist all the time. She's like, well, some people would do drugs, so don't worry about it. Like, you're fine.
That's why, okay. Like, even with like spending money, I think, or like, I love a holiday. I go on a lot of holidays. And, I just think, well, some people eat takeaways and drink and take drugs, and I'm just out here buying bags and going on holiday. So
she bought a lovely YSL bag today, didn't you?
I did.
She's gorgeous. So after, obviously, let's go back. So you obviously went sober. You then got your coil out.
Yeah.
You sound like you've had a massive like shed, and isn't it? It's actually quite like, it's not surprising you're now thriving, because it feels like you've gone through this big transformation. Yeah. So you got your coil out. You became sober, got your coil out, and then you got diagnosed with PMDD.
Well, interesting with that, I've not actually been diagnosed with PMDD. I never went to the GP.
Oh, interesting.
I went straight to Zoe. I went straight to get holistic help.
Right.
I think during the whole alcohol thing, I was being treated for depression, anxiety, and things like that, and I went to the GP for that. And I got put on. I think I was on like, throughout a year, maybe 5 different SSRIs and things like that, but not one conversation was, are you getting sunlight, are you exercising, are you sleeping,
how's your relationship?
And I just, looking back at that now, that is what I needed at the time. Like, I was so depressed and anxious. I don't blame them for putting me on medication, but I now, knowing what I know, I lost trust in that, and I wanted to take it into my own hands and speak to someone like Zoe who can sit there and give me the time, not a 10-minute conversation where they're going to write me.
And she also has PMDD herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel it's not on my medical records, got PMDD. I think if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck.
Yeah.
I know what PMDD is now, obviously, and I know that's what I have. So yeah.
Wow. And after you got, obviously not diagnosed, but after you sort of heard about PMDD and think that you have it, like, you've now gone down. When did your body transformation journey begin?
Well, so I gave up drinking in 2022, and I just wanted to get 6 months sobriety under my belt, but like I said, I was a lot bigger than I was back then. And then after I'd got 6 months, that's when I started going to the gym and started going, right, I could probably try and lose a bit of weight now. So I lost, like 5.5 stone in that time. So it's taken me 3 years.
Wow.
But over the last year is really when I've seen the biggest like change, because I switched to a whole food diet. I did all the genetic testing, the Dutch test, the gut test. I went on a gut healing protocol. Really in tune with my hormones. Like, every single thing I do in my life is around my cycle and
Amazing.
around preventing PMDD. So definitely, even though my overall journey's been 3.5 years, the last year has been the biggest impact so far, for sure.
This podcast literally wouldn't be possible without Evelyn. Beyond producing it, they have personally helped me on my PMDD journey. I am literally in my luteal phase right now, and I'm telling you, it makes me emotional. 3 years ago, there's no way I could have even sat in this chair, done this podcast, or done anything in my luteal phase. I used to feel like I didn't want to be here before my period, like there was a big cloud looming over me, and life just felt so heavy in the 2 weeks before my period. But since I've started Evelyn's supplement routine over a year ago, genuinely my whole life has changed. I feel like I can live again before my period, turn up and do things like this, socialise. Everything around me has improved, and I feel like I can really be myself again in my luteal phase. Evelyn makes science-backed, hormone-free supplements designed by experts for people like me. If you're struggling with your period, I honestly would urge you to give them a try. If you'd like to try them today, go to evelynhealth.com or use the link in our show notes, and you can use Hotline 20 for 20% off your first order. So what led you to have, like, what did you have done when you had these operations?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So obviously I'm 8 weeks post-op. So I had a tummy tuck with muscle repair, a breast lift and hip lipo. So I obviously, where I've lost the weight, has a lot of loose skin on my belly. And it just wasn't anything, you know, I've seen various surgeons and trainers and things like that, and it you know, skin is nothing that's going to go away. So I made this decision. I was ready after 3 years of doing it. And I chose to have everything done at the same time. I had it done in Sancta Maria in Swansea, private hospital, with a wonderful surgeon called Mr. Dean Boyce.
Love.
And I'm 8 weeks post-op now, and I feel great. I feel it was probably the best decision I've ever made, and I feel like it's unlocked this new era of my life. I'm 30 years old. I've got the body that I've worked so hard to get. Like, my relationship's amazing. My work is absolutely thriving. My friendships are all aligned and great. And I'm just feeling like I'm in my horse year.
But it feels like you've really landed and found who you truly are, like in the least generic way possible. It feels like the last 5 years were probably quite tough.
Yeah.
And it feels like you've finally just gone, you've shed.
Big shed.
You've shed the people, you've shed the addiction.
Last year was the year of the snake, wasn't it?
It was big shedding.
Shedding.
My breakup was then.
Yeah. Wild.
Huge.
Yeah, a lot of things shed last year.
No one had a great 2025, I don't think.
No, gosh, no, it was bad.
Yeah.
But 2026 so far, it's like I've been, like I said, I do a lot of traveling for work. I've been to like LA, Toronto, Dubai.
Oh my God.
And then I got my surgery, and we're in May.
Jet set.
So I know. So I'm very, very lucky to do what I do. And
where are you going next?
I'm actually going to Portugal the end of in 2 weeks. I'm going on a retreat. Yeah, so me and my boyfriend are doing a retreat in Portugal, which would be amazing. So nice to do together as well.
Yes, stunning. I love that. And how has it been, your transition? Obviously, you speak about PMDD online.
Yeah.
And how's it been the transition of like going from, you know, just speaking about it, and now you've really have blown up?
Yeah.
How has that been? And you obviously talk about PMDD a lot, and you're open about it. And
well, I think last year in October it was, I was having the worst PMDD flare I've had this whole time. And in a moment of me in sheer desperation, I filmed myself crying and speaking to the camera, and that blew up.
That's how my career began.
It's wild. It had like millions of views. ITV picked it up, and then I did a segment on the news about PMDD.
And you were in the gym.
Yes. Yeah. And it just really kicked off from there, to be honest. And like I said, being someone who hadn't even heard of PMDD to then, you know, less than a year later being an advocate for it and being a person that people came to for help and advice is wild. And I just think it's really important to share. You know, I've always shared my journey. I shared my sobriety, my weight loss, my surgery, PMDD. It's not for me. It's for who this can help. And I'll always share the good, the bad, the ugly. And I just think in those moments where I feel alone and I feel it's only me and no one could ever possibly feel like this, I go to social media to try and find someone who looks like me, who feels like me, who is similar age to me, who maybe has a similar story. So I just think there's so much power in being vulnerable and sharing.
I agree. And actually, you know, when people are like, oh, someone told me my original video that like popped off, someone's like, don't post yourself crying online. It was the best thing I ever did. But it's changed my entire life. I have a new career. I've helped
It's amazing.
Hopefully.
Well done.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, sometimes you've got to put yourself out there, even if you're being vulnerable and you look ugly because you're crying. Like, it's so important to do that for other people who are probably too scared to put themselves out there in that 100%. Way, but they feel alone, and they're just looking for that figure, like big sister, that they can be like, and that's what you've done. It's amazing.
Thank you.
No, I love that.
I love sharing on social media as well. Like, it is my job now, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, I've always shared. Well, I say always, for the last 3 years. Like, people say to me, you know, you've blown up overnight, and it's like, I haven't. I've been doing it for 3 years. Yeah, it's just so happened over the last 4-5 months. It's gone a bit mad from like my surgery and stuff like that, because I've shared everything with that.
But that's amazing too, because I think as women, we really suffer with like there's a lot of body shaming, especially when someone's lost a lot of weight, and with the skin and stuff like that. Excess skin, like, there must be other people out there that are literally questioning whether they should go and do the surgery, or like, how do they embrace their bodies looking like not feeling 100% confident. And
I mean, it's difficult because I'm not promoting the surgery. I'm not saying to people, you should go and get this. I think it's such a huge recovery. It takes a village. It's very expensive. And I never want to come across like I'm trying to promote altering your body, but I'm all for looking your best. If you want to look your best and feel your best. Yeah. Because when I look my best, I feel my best, you know. If I leave the house with no makeup on, I don't feel great. If I leave the house, done my hair with a face full of makeup, I'm probably going to have a bit of a better day, you know, and it's different for everyone, but that's genuinely for me.
It's whatever makes you happy and whatever you feel most confident in.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've had a journey like I have, I did the hard work, I did the diet, I did the weight training, I lost the weight. And that was the last piece of the puzzle for me. And my boobs are amazing. Honestly, it's the best thing I've ever done. I'll show you them later. I haven't got my dentist the other day. Stop it. It's a girl dentist. It's a girl dentist. Oh my God, I literally had a post-op appointment with my surgeon last week, and I was saying, because he takes photos and stuff, I said, bloody hell, you got more naked photos of me than my boyfriend. And then I literally said, I was like, I got back with the dentist the other day, and he thinks I'm nuts. He's just like,
you are crazy, girl. I love it. No, got it, flaunt it. What treatment have you done for PMDD then? What has actually helped your symptoms, do you think?
Oh God, like everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, working with Zoe, I've gone down the holistic route. I've chosen not to go on like pharmaceutical medication. So things I do for my PMDD, genetic testing, so to sort out my deficiencies. So the way that I methylate, and it's funny because I have no idea what half these words mean. I just copy what Zoe says. But I take like B vitamins, like magnesium, loads of different things for my gut. I actually had candida overgrowth in my gut. I did a 16-week gut healing protocol with Zoe. Wow. Redid my gut and it's all clear. Love. So she works wonders. I no longer do the 5 a.m. club. Like I said, for a year and a half, I got up every single day between 4:30 and 5 a.m. Wow. Now I sleep until I go to bed the same time pretty much every night. I'm 10:30 till 7:30, but I really focus on having good quality sleep. The way that I train, I stopped running and I only do like a form of HIIT to get my heart rate up once a week. Other than that, I focus on strength training. I do that 4 times a week, and then I do HIIT and one zone 2 session.
How do you do that in your luteal phase? Do you continue, or do you see how you feel?
I see how I feel.
Okay, yeah.
In my luteal phase, I'm like, I just give myself grace. Yeah, because I know how hard, when you're in PMDD, how hard it is to do the things that you're good for you. Yeah. You know, washing your hair is a fucking struggle, you know, when you're having a flare. You know, talking therapy, journaling, all of that stuff. I'm also huge into biohacking. I do a lot of red light therapy, sauna, EMF devices, low toxic stuff. I've really gone down a low tox rabbit hole. I
love that.
Like throughout literally, I went room by room throughout all the toxic cleaning products.
All your gym stuff as well, apparently we have to go through.
This is the thing, because it's polyester, but I'm very much underwear. I know, I'm very much 80-20, and I still get Botox as well. So, you know, I eat a whole food diet, I sleep really well, I do a lot of grounding, but I wear makeup, I do get Botox, and I wear cute matching gym sets that are no good for your body. So I do believe in balance.
You've got to draw a line in the
look, if we were going to be 100% low tox, you have to go live in the woods. You have to go live in the woods.
No fish. Can't have fish now, apparently.
No, exactly. So I am very 80-20, probably like 70-30, depends on where I am. But
I'll see you next year and you'll be living in a tree house in the middle of Wales.
I would love that, to be fair.
Yeah,
but it's
so
all
nice.
about like toxic load, you know, anything you can reduce to reduce that toxic load on your body is great, and doing something is better than nothing.
I agree.
That's my opinion
I
on
think
it.
actually people get so stressed, especially with PMDD and all of these things. They're like, I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm like, just do a little
stress
bit
of that just makes it worse than the actual thing.
I think that's called, is that called oxidative stress? Someone told me
God
one.
knows.
I don't know, because I had that Yucca app.
Oh yeah,
I had Yucca, and then I spoke to this guy who's a toxicologist, and he was like, stress is worse. You stressing about there being a Yucca score, like your Yucca score being bad. He's like, it's actually worse than having the actual thing. And I was like, oh, so actually I don't have it because I got a bit obsessed.
Yeah.
I was like in Boots it took me 40 minutes to find an SPF.
Yeah.
Because it was like toxic.
I know.
And I was like, I don't have the time for this.
I know. No, I totally know how you feel. But I think like it's the classic thing, the free things are the best. So as in like sunlight, circadian rhythm, going to bed and waking up at the same time.
Community
is a huge one, you know, being able to talk to people, not suppressing your feelings, putting your bare feet on the earth and grounding, you know, eating a whole food diet. Obviously it's quite expensive eating a whole food diet, but you know, doing exercise, getting outside for walks and things, all of this stuff, like there's no one magic thing, and again it does, everything is so different for other people. But all I can say is in the last 12 months I've had 4 cycles of PMDD, so something's got to be working, you know. And I thought I was going to get it bad this month actually, and I only had it the day before and for a couple of hours. I took an antihistamine and I was fine.
Gorgeous.
So histamine is now going to be my next next thing.
challenge. Yeah, God, the histamine conversation is so interesting. And again, it's so annoying because it's like some people have a histamine problem and have PMDD. Some people have PMDD and don't have a histamine problem. It's like trial and error.
Whack-a-mole. Like it is trial and error. And I try and do this. I pretty much eat the same thing every week. I do my meals. I know my calories and my protein, and I don't eat gluten and try and stay away from refined sugar. If I have a cinnamon roll every now and again, you know, I gotta live. But I think it's just getting into a really good routine and knowing your body. And I thought I was gonna have, like I said, a bad PMDD flare this month because of my surgery. Haven't been able to train.
Your body's had trauma.
A lot of trauma on the body. But like I said, I was absolutely fine until cycle day 28, and I had a couple of hours of being really, really ragey. And then I took an antihistamine.
Then you crashed out.
And I had a cuddle with my boyfriend. I was absolutely fine.
Lovely.
Yeah.
No, I think I always say on this podcast, it's so great to have people on here that can give other people hope, because I'm sure you get DMs all the time. I do, of people being like, I can't see a way out of this. Is it ever going to get better? I've tried this, I've tried that, and I just think it's so nice when we sit across from each other, and it's like, actually we both made it through. We got to the other end, the other side. Yeah,
it's something that I'm always conscious of. Like I definitely wouldn't say I've healed it.
No,
because every month I do anticipate it. I don't know whether that makes it worse as well. But it's I think for me, same with alcohol, it's a life thing. You know, I'm never going to be rid of the thoughts about drinking again, but it's how I manage it. Yeah. And I see that's a similar pattern that I find with PMDD, is it's always, for me, is it always going to be there, and it's how I manage it before it happens.
Yeah, and just having like the tools to be able to kind of like know what to do when you get into that moment. And when you have like a lovely partner as well, that makes it so much easier.
I know.
Because and what advice would you give to someone who's in a relationship right now with PMDD?
Talk like as much as you can. Like I was quite bad at suppressing my feelings because I didn't want him to think I was nuts.
Yeah.
And at
the beginning of a relationship, that's hard.
Yeah. And then he actually said to me, you know, why don't you let me know how bad it gets? And I was like, I feel like I'm actually doing him a disservice by not telling him, because then he can't support me in the way that I need.
Especially when those thoughts come up, those like horrible, bad dark thoughts.
Yeah. So I think just be vulnerable, and hopefully if it's the right person, you're going to be met with like love and support. And now, like, he says all the right things. Like, I was spiraling a bit, like I said, like 2 days ago, and he just texted me and he's like, you're good, we're good, life is good. Yeah. And he's like, I love you, tells me he loves me all the time, because that's what I need. King. And it's just the reassurance that, okay, we're fine. And he's like, don't set the world on fire. He was like, just come here, I'll look after you. And it's like, sometimes all you need is a
hug. Do you know one thing about being single? I wish I could hire somebody for a hug.
Which sounds forearms. I just love them.
Forearms. The biceps.
You
can tell I'm ovulating.
I know. The biceps are great.
The biceps. You know, there's like memes where someone's like,
I bite him. I'm a biter. I just,
don't. I'm ovulating. I can't.
She's horny.
No. No, what's that? We don't talk about that. Girls don't get horny.
No, I do.
I will say, like, in the last 3 months, God, if Jared's listening to this, in the last 3 months, I'm like, I've got a problem.
Really? Yeah,
Like,
that's good. If you're not horny, you're not healthy.
No, I am horny 24/7.
So am I.
Sorry, Mum.
It's fine.
Like,
own it.
24/7.
Yeah, but we're young and
hot.
sexy.
Apparently it gets worse in your 30s as
Does
well.
it?
Apparently it gets far worse. They're like,
I'm bad.
If you think you can feel ovulation now, apparently it's like,
really?
I think it's because your body is like,
Look out.
have the baby.
Yeah.
And maybe the drop off before you go into like perimenopause. Like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but oh God,
well, there we
girl. Wow. Yeah, it's been really difficult. It's been a really hard time for me.
I don't know if I can get any hornier. I never get anything done.
No. Oh my God, I need to move on. I'm getting embarrassed. Are you ready for some dilemmas?
I am.
Are you?
Lay it on me.
People have written in for you.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
I feel petrified.
Famous? Okay. Hey, I really hope you're well. I love the pod. Thank you so much. We have fans now. It's actually quite nice.
Good for you, girl.
I know. I'm like, guys. I thought once I stopped using substances, I'd finally feel stable. But now I'm realizing there might be other layers to why my emotions feel so extreme at certain points in the month. Did anyone else think that they were done fixing themselves only to realize there was more going on?
I mean, I feel like I can relate, obviously, because of my own substance journey, and then obviously coming out the other side and then having something like PMDD. I feel like there's a lot going on for everyone right now. You know, women especially. You know, you've got the pressure of the marriage, kids. Women are obviously working, stressed, and then on top of everything else we've got going on, like our hormones, and then you chuck substance into there, like it's a lot. I guess my advice for that would be like therapy, or finding something like that works for you, like
something that can ground you.
100%. Whether that's something like, you know, biohacking, like I said, getting into that as almost like a hobby, but it's a healthy hobby. Finding a community of people that do something like cold water therapy. I met so many amazing people down there that had a similar story to me, and I feel like it's that connection. For me, talking therapy really, really works. But yeah, it does feel like whack-a-mole sometimes, and it does feel, I always, you know, is it ever going to end, sort of thing, you know? And then I feel like, oh God, in 10 years maybe I'm going to be hitting perimeno or meno, and then what's that going to bring up? And I feel like being, I don't know, just knowing that you're not alone, and having people maybe like me or like you or Zoe that, you know, openly talk about it.
And did you feel lonely when you were going through your like sobriety journey?
Oh yeah. I was never alone, but I felt really lonely because I feel like nobody understood it. Exactly how I feel with PMDD a lot of the time, because my family don't understand it. Like, love them, they try to. It's nothing against them, but
they'll never get it if they haven't got it.
And it's the same with the sobriety thing. Unless you've done it and you've given up and you've lost what I lost but gained what I gained, you won't understand it, and that's fine. Yeah. As long as they can try. I think you can just see they're trying. That's when I'm like, love you. I'm like, you're trying, you're listening. I completely agree with you. Okay, dilemma number 2. Hey, I've had a massive physical transformation over the last few years, and now my hormones are changing again on top of that. I don't know what version of my body I'm supposed to know anymore. Have you ever felt like you lost yourself or lost your reference point for who you really are? Oh God, that's deep.
Yeah.
That is deep. I think it's hard when you go through a physical transformation. My experience of that is when I was about 2 weeks post-op and I had all my bandages taken off. I cried for like 4 days because I didn't recognise who I was looking at in the mirror. Obviously that's a really physical thing. I've had actual parts of me taken away. And it, like I said, it's only taken me, I think, the last week to come back into my body. So I do understand that of not feeling connected to yourself. Something that brought me back with that was homeopathy. Not touched on that. It's quite woo-woo, quite controversial, but speaking with a homeopath and getting some remedies for that really, really helped me. Also just like having compassion for yourself.
Yeah.
And again, therapy did that for me. Really look at, I sit naked in front of my mirror and I like really look and I have compassion. And I think I see my scars now and I'm like, oh my God, like you did that. Like have gratitude for the physical transformation.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you could go back to that version of you where you were drinking,
oh my God,
and you
I just
hadn't lost the weight,
yeah,
and you were like sort of abusing your body, what would you say to her now?
I'm just so grateful to her, which is wild because I had a lot of shame around that for a while, but I'm like, she had the strength to make the change. This version of me,
so true.
This version of me didn't, but that version did. My lowest version that was the strong version of me, and that's why I feel so much gratitude.
And actually, I think that's a really good message for someone that's starting this journey now. Like, you can start today. And also, like, that's the strongest version of you.
Yeah, 100%.
That person you're envisioning in the future.
It gets easier. When you start losing the weight, you get fitter. Trust me, it gets easier. Wow. The hardest part is the first bit. And yeah, that's why I look at photos of me now and I doesn't even look like me. It's wild. And I've got nothing but love for that version of me. Yeah.
You can tell.
But it took a lot of healing to get there.
I was going to say, you can tell you've done the work.
A lot of work.
You've done the work, girl.
It's a full-time job.
It is. Trust me. Someone told me the other day, they were like, you're over-therapized now. And I was like, I'd rather be that way than the other way.
100%. Yeah.
It's so important though, because you just you deserve that.
Yeah.
And you deserve to give yourself that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So do you.
So do you. Honey. Okay, I've got a quick fire question for you.
Go for it.
Right. Someone is on TikTok at 2 a.m. in tears and they find you. What do you want them to know?
I want them to know that if I can do it, like you can do it. And I want them to know that the magic is inside you. Like that's something that I held on to. And even though I had like no self-worth, I had no clue about anything that I know now. And trust me, like if I can do it, I seriously believe anybody can do it. Like there's nothing special about me, in that way. And yeah, I just think there's so many people going through probably really similar stuff. So I hope if anyone comes to my TikTok in tears, I'm hoping they can see a bit of them in me, and that they can do it.
I love that.
Make a change.
And like making people
feel over here.
Making people feel seen is just like the best.
Yeah.
The best. When someone says, I feel seen, I'm like, yes, you're doing your job.
Yeah, that's what I love.
The word influencer, which I hate that word, to be honest, like, yeah, you're there to influence, but actually you are influencing in a whole different way. You're not just...
Thank you.
And that's not to diminish anyone else that, but I think it's really amazing when people can look at someone and be like, oh my God, that's me.
Yeah,
that's
and that's... The plan for me was to never like be an influencer, but obviously it just happens as your following grows. And my goal is to just, when someone comes to my page or sees a piece of content that I made, I want them to go away feeling like inspired and thinking, God, if this girl could do it when she was in that state, maybe there's hope for me, because there is, and there's so much help out there. And yeah, I just hope anyone who's in the depths of either substance abuse, struggling with their weight, PMDD, being overwhelmed with everything, like I feel like I've been through it all, and life on the other side is... You've
lived many eras. Awesome.
I'm Taylor Swift, I told you.
You're just a sexy baby. Are you a monster on the hill? She's like got that. I'm not a huge... I'm a monster on a hill.
Oh yeah, that's Torture Poets Society.
It's
I don't know what...
No. Hi, I'm the problem.
No, that's... I'm not that much of a Swift. I do like Taylor Swift, but I'm not that much of a Swiftie.
Yeah, I don't really know all that. She's got some bangers though.
Yeah,
she's definitely got some bangers for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you've honestly been insane. Like,
thank you.
Do you have anything you'd like someone to leave here today, like, with?
Just... God, there's so many things, but I think just knowing it gets way better. When you've got that North Star and you know that you're destined for a better life, just like make it happen, just one foot in front of the other. Because I'm now like living my life the way I always knew I was meant to live it. And no outside help, it was all me,
Yeah.
I didn't
take the power within you to do that.
I didn't take any shortcuts. Like I did everything the hard way. And thank God you know.
You go, girl. I'm so
Thanks.
proud of you.
Fuck being humble, innit? I'm like, I did that.
I did that.
And
I did that on my own.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration in your journey.
Let's
Like,
go.
I don't know this journey in depth. Like, I haven't personally followed you for ages. I'm really sorry.
That's
like,
fine.
I've seen your journey, but I didn't know the backstory. And it's so inspiring.
Thank you.
I really hope someone leaves today kind of thinking, do you know what? I'm going to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to start today.
I'd love that.
Yeah. I think that's incredible. Anyway, thank you, PMDD girly.
Thank you.
I'm gonna come over here and hug you over here so this camera can see us.
Thank you for having me.
That was so good. You smashed it. That was great. And that's a wrap on another Hormonal Hotline episode. Please be sure to subscribe and please click the bell to get notifications. We cannot wait to have you back, and thank you so much for coming.